Hey there, this is Dave Cuff of HME Business. I'm here at MedTrade West in Phoenix. We're here on day 1, April 4, and I have a question for you out there, especially the retail providers. Are you a retail provider that's offering perhaps higher priced HME items? If so, you might want to consider protection plans. And here to talk about those plans is Sean Stapleton. Sean's the CEO of MedGuard Protection Plans. Sean, nice to meet you. This is your first MedTrade, am I right?
This is my first MedTrade West, so I'm brand new to the MedTrade West, yes.
Okay, all right. And then, but you would come to MedTrade East?
That's right.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. Okay, so Sean, why don't you tell us a bit about your background and kind of how you found your way to HME?
Sure. So I've been in this business for the equipment maintenance business for over 25 years. In various roles, from legal to operations and to leadership roles. I've been really fortunate to be able to have supported companies of all size in the development of their equipment protection products. So from companies from the very small businesses to Fortune 50 companies. And I think working with these different size organizations across these multiple areas has really helped me to understand best practices and be able to bring those learnings to our partners. Gotcha.
And who is MedGuard, and what are the sort of protection plans that you guys offer?
Sure. So MedGuard is the subsidiary of US Medic, and US Medic is a company that's been around for over 25 years. US Medic provides enterprise equipment maintenance solutions for hospitals, laboratories, and healthcare organizations. We have over national coverage with over $1 billion in equipment under cover now. MedGuard was really a natural extension of US Medic. What we wanted to be able to do and why we established MedGuard was to be able to bring enterprise and commercial grade equipment maintenance solutions to consumers so they can help protect their valuable and critical medical equipment.
Okay. And now, in the context of HME, what is a protection plan, a product protection plan or equipment protection plan?
Sure. Sometimes people will talk about them as extended warranties or service contracts or maintenance agreements, but in essence, what a protection plan is, it has many of the same features as your manufacturer's warranty, providing mechanical breakdown coverages. The difference is that it's for a longer duration through a separate agreement. And with MedGuard, we're even a little bit more different. We provide benefits in excess of what a manufacturer actually can provide. So as an example, we provide accidental coverage, accidental damage coverage for equipment. So if you knock your CPAP over in the middle of the night, we would cover it through a replacement or repair of that, something that wouldn't be covered by the manufacturer. Or for lift chairs, for instance, it happens that you could get a stain or rip or a tear, things that are generally not covered under a manufacturer's warranty, they'd be covered under the MedGuard plans. So different from the manufacturers, more benefits, more robust. We cover just about anything that an HME provider could offer and protect those, and the same level of protection we provide for over 25 years for our enterprise customers.
And that's really interesting because you think there's a lot of care tied to this. I mean, you think about, you use the example of a CPAP. So say somebody's a CPAP patient, they might have a funded CPAP device, but then they also might have a small portable travel CPAP.
Sure.
And that's probably come out of their pocket. That's not going to be cheap, and they might want to have it protected from any sort of mishap or anything like that.
All the time. You see folks traveling with it, and that's a huge concern. We've seen many times where the sale didn't close because the customer was concerned that, well, I'm traveling with it, it's going to get damaged, and then I'm going to have to go buy another one. It's not covered under insurance. And if the provider had the ability to offer a protection plan, you can eliminate that objection immediately.
So we talked a little bit about how protection plans are important for some of the more pricey HME items that might be coming out of a patient's own finances rather than being funded. We talked a bit about how that helps, improve, or how that helps secure the sale for a lot of patients who might be on the fence. But let's dig a little bit deeper. Why do customers purchase protection plans? In other words, what are their motivations?
Sure. This is something we've done a lot of research, as you can imagine. What drives customer behavior? Why do they make the purchase? And one of the reasons, one of the bigger reasons, is that customers are concerned about their ability to pay for repairs. They don't want to encounter unexpected repair bills, and it happens. Now more than ever, as we talk to patients, they're concerned with inflationary trends and other issues that they may not be able to get their equipment maintained or fixed in the event of an issue, and that's one. But what might surprise you is that we have a lot of customers not as much concerned about the cost, but they're concerned about the convenience. They want one source, one place to go in the event of any issues with their equipment. So if they move away from their trusted provider, or their trusted provider doesn't provide that level of service, they can reach out to MedGuard through the protection plans in order to get all of the issues resolved with their equipment. But across the board, what we see is folks want to be able to have the peace of mind of knowing that their equipment that they just made a large investment in is protected for many years after the purchase. And again, that's what MedGuard does, and that's why we were designed.
There you go. So looking a little bit further at the customer, what are some of the demographics of your typical product protection plan buyer?
Sure. Again, something we look at quite a lot. And, people from all backgrounds and groups purchase protection plans, but there are some really obvious trends as far as purchasers. The areas that we see the most where the trends are baby boomers, right? More prevalent than any other age group. Homeowners, married people, right? Those are, again, college graduates. What we see is the demographics for protection plan purchasers align really well with the HME purchasers. Right, we think that they're exactly right. It's a very underserved market, and really, those folks deserve the ability to be able to purchase protection plans, and we have that for them. We think it's a really untapped space right now, and it's going to do a lot of great things for these patients and customers.
Gotcha. So, if you had to kind of bulletize, what are some of the core reasons why an HME provider is going to want to offer a protection plan? I mean, I think in some of the questions we've covered already, you can kind of get an idea, but I want to hear it from you.
Sure. A few of the just off the top of my head, the easiest one out of the gate, this is a high margin offering. You're talking about being able, on the sale, between 30 to 50% margin in the sale of these products to customers and to patients. So we give our providers that upfront ability to make really high margin business. And I think it's really important. There's no inventory. There's no cost of goods sold. There's no commitments. So this is really revenue that's a stream that's a powerful revenue stream. But I think more important from my perspective is it gives providers the ability to take care of their customers. So many times I've heard from providers that I've had to roll the truck and I don't really get to charge for it because of the financial condition of my patient. And they're still going to get out there to make sure that they're taken care of, or I have to reduce my rates. Whereas here, you don't have that situation. And moreover, you're helping this customer. And what are you doing? You're getting a satisfied and very pleased patient, but also your referral partners are very satisfied with this as well. Because let's face it, they can't stick to their treatment plan if their equipment isn't functional. So happy patients, very pleased referral partners.
There you go. And I was going to say, that kind of level of care and service is something that a lot of HME providers are exceedingly committed to. They see it as their differentiator within their community with referral partners, everything else. But then also that kind of care is kind of translating to, improved outcomes as well.
Sure. And I'll tell you one other thing with our program, with MedGuard, we encourage providers to sign on to be able to provide service under the plans, so it's an additional stream of revenue for them. And again, this is at the full labor rate, so there's no discounting, and it's such a problem it's such a balancing act that you have to do as a provider. You want to take care of your customers, your patients, but you still have to look at your bottom line. And gas prices and the costs are now just skyrocketing. You don't have to do that with a MedGuard protection plan, full labor rate that you can achieve under our plans.
There you go. Sean, so it's funny, I've been on this magazine since 2007, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody offering this kind of, service, product, whatever you want to call it, before. Why is this only now coming to HME?
I know it does seem a little odd, but
yeah.
I will say I've worked across multiple industries bringing protection plans to them, and there's always this curve, right? And it's about the leaders of organizations understanding that this is good for my customers. For HME providers, this is good for patients for the reasons that we talked about. And as we see that, we see the adoption rate moving faster and faster, and we're trending up right now. I think HME providers, it's actually even a little more dramatic. There's such a focus, hyper focus on care and treatment of patients, and I think historically they've avoided some of the strategies used by traditional retail, not sure that it is as impactful and beneficial to the care and treatment of their patients. And now as we introduce these ideas and why it's good, I think they're starting to see that this is critically important. Moreover, the industry's changing. We're starting to see national players coming in with lower rates, right? They can't possibly compete with an HME provider with regard to knowledge, right, and service, but they're coming in at lower rates. So what do the protection plans, our protection plans, offer them? It allows them to potentially reduce their costs for the equipment to stay competitive, but yet still maintain those margins, which is so critical. So we're really leveling the playing field for HME providers.
Okay, so we've talked about sort of the whys, and we've talked about some of the background. We've talked about the whats of behind product protection plans. Let's get to the how. How do HME providers start offering equipment protection programs in their businesses?
So, I know change can be difficult. Adding additional benefits or solutions to your sales process can be a challenge, but this might be the easiest of all solutions or different services to add to your existing programs. And the how is when you're going through your products and features discussion with patients, it's an easy few sentences to add. What I recommend is you go through the products and features, you talk about all the benefits of it. There's a natural point where you're going to get to the warranty. And what I say is this, you tell the patient, this comes with a 1-year manufacturer's warranty, but it's eligible for up to 5 years of additional coverage. And based on our discussion, I highly recommend that you make this purchase. It has all of these attributes that I think are going to be beneficial for you. If you do that 100% of the time with 100% of the customers, the results will be surprising, upwards to 50% attachment rates with this type of an offering, because patients, customers, they understand the value immediately. They've seen this and they want this. So make the offer and do it. Make sure that it fits with the customer's needs. They're thinking they're only going to keep it for 12 months. Well, it doesn't fit. Don't make the offer. But if their intent is to keep this for the long term, make the offer and make sure that they understand the value of it. And you're going to close it. And you're going to help them.
There you go. Yeah, and help yourself in the process.
Absolutely. Sure.
So, all right. So that makes a lot of sense. What about if providers out there are listening to all this and they want to get going with you guys? Do you guys have some sort of onboarding process? How do they get started with you?
That's the easiest part of all.
Okay.
So getting out to MedGuardPlans.com, answer a few questions. We'll send you a distributor agreement. After that's signed, we'll get you enrolled onto our platform. All the tools necessary to begin selling our protection plans. No cost up front, no inventory to purchase. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. We'll get you started selling and helping your patients to protect their equipment and helping your bottom line.
Okay. And if anybody else, if anybody out there in the audience is waiting for some more information, wants some more information on this, don't worry. On April 26th, we've got a webinar. It's called Driving Loyalty and Revenue Through Equipment Protection Plans, and Sean's going to be presenting it. And you can find out more about that. I believe it starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, and you can find out more about that. The registration is free, and all the information is at hme-business.com/webinars. Again, that's hme-business.com/webinars. I bet you're looking forward to presenting that.
I can't wait. I can't wait to introduce this to more and more of HME providers, because this really is going to help your bottom line, and it's really going to drive better results for your patients. And it really is the win-win solution that I think will help your organizations.
All right. Sean, thanks very much.
David, always a pleasure.
All righty.
Thank you.